Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lunch with Lisa. I'm Lisa Shield, and today we have the beautiful Lynnie Marks joining us. Lynnie is an absolute treasure. She has been a friend and she has been a member of my Emotionally Naked Dating coaching program and now a member of my mastermind course. Yay, that I teach with my husband, Benjamin. And we have about, seven other beautiful women in the program. And I can't wait, Lynnie, for you to talk about your experience. But first, can you introduce yourself and just tell everybody a little bit about you?
Hi, everybody who's listening, live and recorded. First of all, Lisa, it's such an honor to be here and you asking me to talk about, myself and how your programs and you and Benjamin have just gotten me to where I'm at today. So a little bit about me. I was a kindergarten teacher. I work with emotionally disturbed kids. I work with the homeless. I do real estate development, which I love. And this journey that I am on with you and Mastermind now and finding the guardian of my soul has been an amazing journey. And I'm so grateful to be able to share it today with everyone because I know myself, I look forward to Monday lunch with Lisa.
And here you are now, my special guest. So,
Yeah.
Lynnie, it is such a pleasure to have you here, honey.
Thank you.
And let's just start at the very beginning and tell everybody how you discovered me and, what made you decide to work with Benjamin and me.
Well, I started, I guess it was within a year and within 2020. And it's really weird how the universe works. I kept getting emails from you, and I look back, it was probably a year before I actually reached out to you. And I kept getting these and seeing guardian of your soul and, techniques and what you should do. And I'm thinking, okay. So one day, one of the emails just caught my attention.
Do you remember which one? Any particular one?
Subject was, are you ready to find the guardian of your soul? And I said, okay, I know, man of my life, love of my life. I thought, okay, tell me more. I got to hear what this guardian of my soul is. So I reached out to you. I listened to your 45-minute orientation online. And then I spoke to you. And what's that Jerry Maguire movie, You Had Me At? Well, you had me at, let me show you the tools and techniques of how to find the guardian of your soul. Right then and there, the rest was whipped cream on the cake. I realized that, having been divorced and dating and being out there, that I really wasn't equipped with the proper tools of how I wanted to show up and how I wanted men that I was dating to see me show up.
Mm-hmm.
The process, and I'm a committed person. I having been a teacher, you say, here's your assignment, I go, okay. Here's when we're going to do it, I go, okay. So I was a very willing participant. But what I really got more out of it is you just keep diving deeper and deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not about, okay, I'm closing the deal, it's real estate. You said to me, Lynnie, we're putting the real estate aside. We're talking about how to find and be with the love of your life. So yeah, and I started out with END, emotionally naked dater.
Let me pause you for one moment. Let's talk about END and what that course really laid the foundation for everything that we do in the mastermind. So
Absolutely.
let's look first at END. What stood out to you? What did you love about the course? The way it was
Benjamin, which I love. What I found was it was a process. We have to run to the finish line. And I said on one of our calls that I don't hold anything to the outcome. I don't live in the outcome. I live in the process. So you truly, through all of the END, took us through that process. And I never realized that I had this, the naked dater talking to me over here, saying, my friend and me going, what are you doing? Don't talk to yourself about that. You're okay. You're here. So the biggest thing for me, being a strong woman, was that Benjamin really walked me through, really held my hand through those steps. You start the process, you go offline, if girls are online, and then you start fresh. The slate is clear and you start out fresh. So we're going through the lessons and getting on phone calls, listening to other women on the phone talk about their wins, their celebrations, and their struggles. Because today we all have those as women today. We strive to be successful, to be financially secure, and we think everything else is going to fall in place, and it doesn't. This business, rock star, kick butt, but in my personal life, what showed me through END is find the feminine side. And thank you. You always say, Lynnie, you show up, you're beautiful, but that's all good. But I needed to show up with a softer side of me. Biggest part of that my journey through END was learning through yourself how to be vulnerable.
And how did you learn that? Lynnie, what are some of the things that helped you access your vulnerability? Because the change in you is remarkable.
Thank you. Through END, and you really dive deep into when you call it the final five. So I listed out my final five. I'm not going to give away the secret of what all my final five are. But one of the things for me is, okay, here's my final five, what I'm looking for. And it's not, I'm looking for a car with it. It's really getting deep of what I was looking for. And through the course, we chiseled it down to inventories, who in our life, and asking people, how do we show up? And getting that feedback. You have to be pretty vulnerable to go out there to the world and say, okay, well, how do you see me? How do I show up to you?
Right. And we have an exercise in the course towards the end. I purposely put that one near the end because people wouldn't have been prepared for it. But yeah, that's very vulnerable, having to ask for feedback. What am I doing wrong? Right. What do you think I could improve upon from friends and people who know you? Yeah.
And the way that you even call it END, emotionally naked dater, it's really showing up and being willing to listen to everything. So I made that commitment. And it's not about paying for it. Yes. I mean, you run a professional, high quality program, but it was more about committing to myself that I was going to do it. I was going to show up. And you joke all the time, I'm on Lunch with Lisa, I'm on your grad calls, I'm on every call, because every time I listen to it, our mindset and how we hear things are differently. So I listen, and every time, and I hope lots of women are listening to this and get nuggets from this, because to be out there, what I call alone, and listening to your girlfriends and listening to this friend of me, on our shoulders saying, you can't do it, you can't do this. You are showing us the way we can.
Let me ask you, what's different about what I'm saying and Benjamin is saying than what your girlfriends or other dating coaches are saying?
You are just such an expert and so authentic. And what I really like is you tell your story about how you met Benjamin. Okay. And about we as women, how we right away preconceive how that's going to look. Now I show up, I have nothing about the outcome. I'm showing and I know that I'm feeling good through all END. And then I graduated that and went on to, the sisterhood SSW that you do. I go on to grad calls. And then I wanted to take that next step and go to Mastermind. Why? Because you show us all the time, we're always growing and we all have something to learn. And I all these sisters, when you have these unbelievable retreats that you do, is that we have such a community out there right now. Girls on the call, whether they're graduating, and they'll send me emails, Lynnie, I want to stay in touch with you. There are sisters, being born and raised an only child. I have all this community of sisters.
Let me ask you a question. How many friends, how many women do you think you have met through this program?
Probably hundreds.
Yeah, a ton, right? And you've made some, especially in the mastermind, it sounds to me from the number of phone calls you all exchange and the way you all have been supporting each other in that group, it sounds like you all have really bonded, that you support each other through the process, and that is invaluable.
Not only is it invaluable, Lisa, it's a lifelong friendship. You know,
Mhm,
here you are with women who are all over the world, you know,
mhm.
and here you are connecting because you're showing up authentically and you're showing up with compassion and all wanting to help each other. Yeah, why can't you talk to girlfriends? They're going to give you history for how maybe you showed up in your marriage or dating. And they're not really, I say you have that educated mind, you and Benjamin, you know, the work you're doing, giving your examples, and really being honest with us to show how in 96 dates, okay, that you knew how to show up when you met Benjamin and realize
Mhm.
he's the person. But before those 96 dates, we all just show up.
Well,
And
and Lynnie, I also stretch you, like where your girlfriends will constantly tell you, walk away, he's not worth it, don't waste your time. I am, Benjamin and I are always thinking out of the box. We don't give you the advice or what we would do in that situation. We are observing who you are and we're looking at what does Lynnie need to do to grow and stretch? Where are her, some women don't walk away soon enough, right? And some women walk away too fast. Some women are anxious, some women are avoidant. But we look at each individual woman and we ask ourselves, what does Lynnie need so that she can stretch?
well, that's the biggest thing. You know, I thought to myself, okay, we talk about the stretching, you would say, and we on all our mastermind calls, what is our stretch? And you know, after the call, you say, okay, here's what I think everybody needs to stretch. And that's why mastermind, and I love D&D and SSW, the grad calls, mastermind takes this program to a different level.
Mhm.
Higher level. We're going deeper. You cut through all the BS and you go, okay, thank you. We're all, but really tell me how you're feeling. What can we do? You and Benjamin are to me the gurus of love and relationships. And it's not,
And Lynnie, let me pause you. Why? Like, I thank you for that lovely compliment. But for anybody listening, why do you feel that we're the gurus of, dating and relationships?
the tools and techniques that you have shown us, myself, from people aren't going to know what they mean, but hopefully they're inspired to talk to you and find out because I know I was inspired. Switching hands, bell jarring on a date with someone, showing you're present. Those tools are so valuable. Yes, you give us books to read and suggestions of what to do, but it's being there week in and week out and seeing how we show up and
Well,
say,
and also, Lynnie, I think that we model for you, right? That was one of the things at the SSW retreat. And for everybody who's listening, I have 3 programs. So I do one program is called END. That's our initial course, Emotionally Naked Dating. That is a 12-week course. And then for those women who want to continue working with us, we have a mid-tier program called SSW, which is the Sisterhood of Self-Actualized Women. And then our third course is called The Mastery of Love. And that's the one that Lynnie's talking about, that she works directly with Benjamin and me. But one of the things, Lynnie, that many women commented on when they came to the SSW retreat was they said, wow, seeing you and Benjamin on the Q&A calls, on our group calls, was incredible. But actually hanging out with you at the retreat was another universe. And why was that, Lynnie?
wow, coming to the retreat and seeing you and Benjamin live, it just, I have the chills. It was just game changing. So it took everything we've learned and the techniques and the tools and seeing this really works. You're showing us the way. And I joke,
Mhm.
my guardian, my soul is when I'm in Philly, stuck in, a snowstorm, or in Florida, stuck on the bicycle route. But you show us and you demonstrate with Benjamin, the two of you every day. You were an inspiration that this program, using the tools, stretching, to where you feel like we need to stretch, that by using all of those, that we can have that. And I call it that secret sauce of, I look at my son just got married a year ago, and I look at my son and daughter-in-law, and I look at you and Benjamin, and here's what I say: I want that. Now, what do I need to do? So I am a student coming to the teachers who are the experts, because I see and I take every example of what you say, and I see how I'm showing up. I am dating 3 of the most amazing men. A year ago, I would have probably flipped on by and kept going. But the other part of it is you show us, how we're showing up. And also that the man sitting across from us, as Benjamin says on your Sunday show, men are afraid too. And if we go in there like gangbusters, ready to seal the deal, that's not going to get us to the next date and the next and the next date. So the formula of how you take us through going offline, and I must say, I still get almost a year later the profile of Benjamin, who's an amazing writer.
Right.
He writes that I still to this day have men saying, wow, I had to read your profile not just once, 2, 3 times, because the consistency in what you're saying about you. So there we go again, being vulnerable. So, you sit down with Benjamin, we go over the things that we would like to say, and then he takes those words and makes them magic.
Mm-hmm.
I even read a couple people say, Lynnie, I would date you. Friends, because it's so magical. But the message behind it is that we're showing up authentic and genuine and truly looking for the guardian of our soul.
And Lynnie, that profile is so vulnerable. The profiles are and they're long, right?
Yes.
The ones that we post, Benjamin does 2 different profiles. And this is very important for anyone listening to know. The profiles and pictures make a massive difference. People do not understand. They like to find all kinds of reasons with online dating, the men don't read the profiles, and they just are looking at the photos, and all of those things matter. If you don't have exquisite photos, which you do, Lynnie, we helped you get gorgeous photos.
Yes.
We recommend photographers in your area. We help you choose the photos. I was a professional fashion photographer for 15 years. And so that's a big part of what we do. We do not want glamour shots. We're not looking for you, pushing up your girls and leaning, and having too much hair and makeup. We want beautiful, natural photos that men can imagine themselves standing in that picture next to you. And then Benjamin writes these breathtaking profiles that just knock it out of the ballpark and really do not just attract the attention of great men, but incredible responses from the men.
Right. What I was also going to say is, we've said so many times, why these programs? And so I look at you and Benjamin, of course, the gurus of love and relationships, but also it's like having a concierge service where every step of the way, okay, I was saying, sure, people, maybe they don't want to go to a photographer, but okay, do a session with someone to do it. So every step of the way, you were leading all of us to that. It wasn't like, okay, just go online. So you took the pictures I sent you. You and Benjamin went through them all.
Mm-hmm.
This is time work that you went through each of them. And both of you do this with open arms and caring. Because it's truly, like you said, we are friends, in addition to you and Benjamin being my coaches, but you're there. I say 24/7. If on a weekend I'm having some, the friend of me talking, well, I don't know. And right away you go, Lynnie, we leave messages. You go, you got this. Remember this, remember that. So this is 100% that you're guiding us in that direction through the tools, through the conversations, through your availability. It's not like, okay, people have courses, you pay the money, and then they go, where are they? They disappear. I mean, you have been present in my life for about a year, you and Benjamin.
Well, Lynnie, we really do love our clients you in particular, and we really want you to come into this program and feel like we are your advocates, that we're there for you, that you can come to us, and especially in the mastermind, working directly with us. In fact, we won't be able for long to be able to always do SSW. And, we are wanting to make the mastermind much bigger and really focus on that. And so, the concierge service, what we want and where we get our juice is from working with clients like you who are sponges. We have given, you are so coachable. You're just an ideal client. So when you came in, let's talk about kind of who was Lynnie when she first came into our ecosphere and started working with us.
Some people, whether it be girlfriends, men in my life, business and everything, say to me, what has changed with you?
Your friends see it, right? Your colleagues and your friends, your family, I'm sure your son does.
Every single person. And I'm showing up differently. I'm pausing. I'm listening. I'm softer. I'm in my feminine. Doesn't mean I'm not going to kick butt out there in a real estate transaction, but I don't lead with that. And Lisa, one of the other big shifts, there's been so many shifts with working with you and Benjamin. One of the big shifts is I lead with I'm looking to find the guardian of my soul, which my profile clearly says that. It doesn't say Lynnie, real estate agent. It says, here's about Lynnie because she's looking for the guardian of her soul. Can you be that person? Could you be that person? So that's the difference, and really taking it in and being vulnerable and willing to listen to what has to change, whether it be the softness of flowing locks, golden locks, or whatever it may be. It's knowing through those tools and then going to you and saying, okay, this happened on a date, Lisa. Can you tell me, from what I'm saying, what it looks like? Benjamin even volunteered to get on the phone with some man, because he knows the male mind of how it works. And
can we pause and talk about that for a minute, Lynnie?
Yeah.
It came up in one of our mastermind calls that some of the women were really struggling with getting feedback from the men on, they wanted feedback from the men on why they didn't want to go on another date.
Correct.
And Benjamin, my husband, very quickly said, I'll call the men. I'll reach out to them. Anybody that you want me to contact on your behalf, I will reach out to those men and I will ask them. They'll talk to me much more easily, much easier than they will you. But what was so amazing, Lynnie, was he didn't skip a beat. And the fact that he would do that for all of you was extraordinary.
This has enhanced all our lives. And I keep saying, for any women out there who have struggled, we all have. We've been divorced, we're single, we've been, people have been widowed out there, and they don't know. We can read all the books we want. But if you don't have people like yourself running a course, and I do call it a concierge service because every aspect of my dating life, my love life, you're there. And Benjamin said that he would call up the man. I was like, wow. Where do you get that in any program that you have the male mind going to talk to the other male mind and really get to that? And also being vulnerable enough to say, Benjamin, hey, that's a great thing. Let's do that. That's a lot of vulnerability, but we all get on these mastermind calls and we're sharing the most vulnerable parts of ourselves because we all want to succeed. All the women on there, we're all successful women. That's a given. We got that. But what we are there for is we're still learning, and there's still steps every time, every phone call in the mastermind, learn something. And also the other thing is we all want to share in the wins and celebrations. Who engaged, who's getting married, and you have all these different groups on Facebook. So even if the people aren't around, they keep in touch. Lisa, look what happened. Your technique worked. Remember this guy I dated? Now I look at him a lot differently because you're showing us every phone call, every Facebook, every time of how we are really showing up. And maybe what we need to stretch or tweak to do that. And I
Yeah.
know people say to me, Lynnie, you're amazing, but 110%, that shift has happened. But now it's happening so generically for me that that's how I'm just showing up automatically.
Well, and I do want to go back to something you said that you all share in each other's wins.
Hmm.
Something that is so beautiful about the mastermind group in particular is that there are two women in the course who have both found the guardians of their souls,
Yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
they have, you can see from what you, and what's so beautiful is now, not only are you seeing this modeled by Benjamin and me, but you're also seeing it modeled by two of the other women in the course. And it's remarkable to see that they're in these loving, beautiful partnerships. So it gives you hope that this can be replicated. It's not just us. It's now Rebecca and Sam, and it's Wei and Lianji. And we know that there will be more of you who do this. And I think you know that too, Lynnie. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
And here's the other, we talk about the wins and with girlfriends. Girlfriends are happy for all of us. We go out on a great date, but most girlfriends from the past are like, what are you wearing? Doesn't matter. It's so different of how we value ourselves. And also what I really love is when you bring on the significant other, Way was on and
Mhm.
saying how the Angie showed up for him and
Right.
been divorced and has a child and how she's showing up. And she says all the time she is showing up because of the tools in the program that we have.
Well, and also Wei talked about, one of the things Wei talked about was, I encourage my women to take the feminine lead.
Yeah.
So I do not want my women, of course, you don't want to chase after men, but men shouldn't, you don't want to chase after somebody if they're not reciprocal and they're not responsive.
Right.
But when you meet a fabulous man, you have got to let him know what you want and need. And one of the things that Wei shared was how Lianji used the tools in
Yes.
the course and that we were teaching her. And she was so adorable in the way that she encouraged him, right? Where she said, would you like to hold, do you like to hold hands? And he said, I do.
It's so fancy.
Right. And then she said, would you like to hold my hand? And for two Chinese people, Chinese born people,
Mhm.
that was incredible. Wei said it would have taken him months to get there.
It was huge. It was a huge stretch for the energy, huge.
Yeah.
Those kind of wins that we get on the phone, it's not like everything is about a win and a celebration. Of course, we all want to hear that from each other, but it's about also some of the things that we struggle with.
Yeah.
And, being able to talk to, all these women. I mean, Leangie is an example, is 3-hour time difference than me, and we make it work. We'll text we group text each other. This bonds, we all say we're all going to be each other's bridesmaids at the wedding, right in Santa Fe, right where you're at.
And we're preparing for the mastermind retreat soon.
I know. And
It's going to be a ball.
going to top the other retreat that we have, because Benjamin, his tireless efforts of everything, and you with the gifts and everything you did, there was such a bond, Lisa. If I could just talk about that for a minute. All of us women had never met each other. I have the chills. It fills me up. And we met and we sat in circles together. And we all looked at each other and shared our most intimate feeling about where we are.
Yep.
And none of us wanted it to end. We're all like hanging on for one last hug and embrace, because we see your programs brought us all together.
Oh, thanks, Lynnie. That is so wonderful. Thank you.
The programs don't do that.
Thank you, honey. Well, I think that I don't know, but it's a great group. I mean, when you think of the women, that were at that SSW retreat, and you think about all the different walks of life, how they were all different ages, from all different cultural backgrounds, Asian, Indian, from the US. I mean, it was absolutely incredible to
And
see.
that's what even makes it you and Benjamin gather. Everyone beautiful, Santa Fe is beautiful. The oasis that you two have created there is even more amazing.
Thanks, Lynnie.
But all of us being there, where in the world would women all get together from everywhere, all over the country,
Yeah.
with different belief systems, different upbringing,
Yep.
and be there and be open and embracing to one another?
Yeah.
Because we've all gotten to know each other so much and we just all love each other. It's like a big love fest. And then we narrowed it down. I'm glad to hear that, the goal is to make Mastermind get bigger and stretching it out there, because women, we need that.
Yeah.
We need those resources.
And Lynnie, can I pause you for a second? I want to hear, here's the deal. I really want to break this down for people, because this is such an important thing. You see the women in the mastermind invest in themselves, and working with me and working with Benjamin is not inexpensive. Number one, we don't have the time and we don't have the bandwidth to be able to do, you see how hard we work.
Oh, yeah.
You know what we do to deliver what we deliver for all of you.
Absolutely.
But there is a big investment to do this course. And there was a sizable investment to do my first course.
Yes.
You are a savvy woman. You work really hard for your money. You overcame an unfortunate setback in your business life last year, and you decided to do this. I don't take any of this lightly. So we are two women who invest in our personal growth. I spend money every year, just like you do, to invest in being one of the top coaches on the planet. I work with a mentor, just like you're working with Benjamin and me in this part of your life. So you and I both know what it means to invest in ourselves.
Absolutely.
And our personal growth. Will you talk about that, Lynnie?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you. Yes. I mean, we all go through the ebbs and flows of life. So I said to, some people I've referred to the program to listen to you. And I said, listen, it's an investment. But if not now, when are we going to invest in ourselves as women? Okay. And there are programs out there. I don't think there are any, because I think that your expertise in what you do, people get on a 45-minute phone call with you. If they're not signing up, honestly, Lisa, then they're not really able to be vulnerable enough to open themselves up, number one. Number two, what really got me, and I spoke to some folks that you have as members and part of the group who, they couldn't write a check. They really had to make sacrifices, okay? Whether it be taking out a home equity loan or working a part-time job. Now, those are the women that I talked to that really had an impact for me.
Yeah.
Because they showed me that no matter what, they wanted to be committed. Because you and Benjamin show up every day, 24/7. I know you've called me. We just finished dinner, Lynnie. I know I got your message. I'm there for you. Talk to me. That's what you always talk to me, And the time that you and Benjamin take is like no other course, because you are present for us as you want us to be present for you, and showing us the way, and then us doing the way of it.
And Lynnie, another piece of this too is that dating can be hell. You see your girlfriends, who did END and are not getting continued support. And I think you get to see where your mindset is, where your state of mind is, and where people who don't have the ongoing love and support and encouragement and validation and evidence that this program, how this works and that it will work if you stick with it. And
Right.
they backslide. I mean, no matter how good my program is, right?
Yeah.
People will backslide. They'll give up. They'll go back, revert to old patterns.
Right. And it's very easy to do. So I look at your 3 programs. You went into detail about them: END and SSW and Mastermind, of course. So I look at it this way: it's like going to elementary school, middle school, and high school.
That's great.
Because, okay, we're in elementary school, END. We're really trying to get at least emotionally naked and be able to what's
Clever.
going on. Then we graduate, in my opinion, to SSW. So we go a little deeper. But to me, in order to really get it full circle, is going through Mastermind. Because in the beginning, honestly, I mean, I've gone back and been on your END calls, and I go, wow, I've really grown a lot. Listening to the women there, and they call me, Lynnie, I know you're Mastermind now. What do you think? And I say the following: if you're willing to commit to yourself, okay, the program is there to show success. But it's all about committing to ourselves. You can't say to anyone else, okay, commit to yourself. We have to feel that within. Now, all of us have different scars from relationships and growing up, whatever it may be. But you've showed us how to get past that, of how to show up, how to get a Benjamin, how my son has the love of his life. And I see people in the course, Leangie and Rebecca and various other people, they get it.
Yeah.
They get it because you're there with us, walking us through the steps till we graduate. So to me, graduating is the wedding in Santa Fe with you officiating.
But Lynnie, the other thing too is, the kind and quality of relationship that you want.
Absolutely.
And here's the thing. You are a hot tamale. There's zero question that you are adorable. And you could have gotten a lot of guys. But the truth is, you're not settling. And this is keeping you honest and real and on the path, because, a lot of women will just jump into a relationship, think they've got it figured out or whatever, and settle and not get the whole enchilada. I'm doing some Mexican food analogies here.
Getting the guy, as we used to all think before this course. Okay, you got the guy. That's great. But how are you showing up to keep this a long-lasting relationship? Yeah, we've all had the guys, and that's all great. But I'm looking for my final 5, which took me a long time to work on. And then you showing me, okay, Lynnie, how do you need to be in those relationships, vulnerable, asking for what you want? Okay, that just doesn't come from one course. This is a continuation of an investment that I made. Yeah, can I buy a Peloton? That's going to get me in good shape. But this is the inner work, as you say, going deep. And how much do we want it? Not looking at the outcome, but looking at the process. So people say to me, well, you've been with Lisa and Benjamin for a year, so what's the story? I said, the 3 amazing men that I am going out with today, I would have never, I don't know if I would have still left, right? Whatever. I wouldn't be in there today showing up the way I'm showing up.
That is so cool. And the other thing too is that in order to do this, we have to maintain a very high level of consciousness and a very positive outlook. And one of the things about dating is that it can be so disheartening. It can bring us down. It can make us depressed. We can quit and stop and start and restart. And with the mastermind, you're making this huge investment mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially in your well-being so that you can stay positive, you can stay committed, and you can stay out there and have support from Benjamin and me, and also the reflection, the living examples like Way and Leangie and Rebecca and Sam, that you can do this. So, we become your guiding lights.
Yes, right. So I just want to give a couple examples. So, we talk about, how we show up. So, we have yourself and Benjamin here, this amazing couple. But Benjamin's perspective when you two are on calls. So he always says it's how we make someone feel.
Mm-hmm.
How we make a man feel. So I had a couple of dates. I had, a man that had, a crippling disease. So we went out. It was the first time. And because I was open and leaning in and engaging in the conversation and being vulnerable, he shared with me experiences he had with women. When he shared what was going on with him, they got up and laughed. I go, what do you mean? They got up and laughed. And he said, Lynnie, I've never sat across from a woman who's been so compassionate and
Oh, Lynnie.
and really, and I tell these
Wow.
people, I say to you, what do you attribute how you are saying thank you, but just not the please and thank you, showing a man, thank you so much for calling me. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Wow.
They don't hear that, Lisa, out there.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That
And
is so beautiful.
with love and relationship coach, and they go, really, how come? I go, because I had to learn from my previous relationships.
Wow.
I could do it differently. I mean, every time I say that, I have the chills because I show up like a totally different person. Yes, blonde, curly hair and happy and everything, but I show up playful,
Yeah.
not asking questions like I'm on a reporter interview with them. And so many of these men say to me, you're such a breath of fresh air. And like
Wow.
I said, my examples are Lisa and Benjamin Shield. They've shown me how the couple communicates. They've shown me how they're each vulnerable, that what they're looking for, and how you shared with when you met Benjamin, him waiting at the restaurant, but how you handled it, saying, it's okay, I'm okay. Take your time to be safe.
Huh.
Nobody I know talks like that to most men unless they've gone through your courses.
Wow. Lynnie, it's so cool because to hear you talking, because you're, if women knew, and this is by no fault of your own, you came into the course and your work with us as a completely different woman. You were so professional. You were there was a masculine edge. You were gonna, meet the guy. Let's get this done. Okay, we like each other. Pardon me, say that again.
Seal the deal and go to settlement. Now it's the last thing from my mind.
Yeah, now it's like you're sitting there thinking, well, is this who I'm looking for? And is this really the man I want to spend the rest of my life with? And is he, what is right for me? And Lynnie, I hope it's okay to share maybe a little bit about Joey and how we were helpful with that. So, do you want to, I'm going to just say as a professional, I called this out from the very, very, very start.
Yes, you did.
I literally did. So I want people to know that. And Lynnie, you needed to go, there was something about this guy, you needed to explore it. And I, of course, was not going to, I told you what I felt, but then, let's talk about what happened there, if we may.
Because we work so closely together and, dating and which date and what's happening. And, so I really feel very comfortable with you telling you what's going on. So there was a gentleman I met on one of the sites that, maybe sounded too good to be true. So you kept saying to me, tell me more, tell me more. So we were on a call together, mastermind call. And then, you and I took it offline and we dug a little bit deeper with it. And you said to me, Lynnie, I see some signs that are really red flags to me. And so I had to be vulnerable to listen to that. And I said, tell me. And you told me exactly what you thought. How did it unfold? Exactly the way you said.
Yeah.
It also takes all of us, Lisa, to be open and share with you authentically and honestly what's.
Yeah.
We can all sell each other a bill of goods like it's great, but you take the time. You listen to every conversation we all have. When we reach out to you, looking for a suggestion, you say it the way it is. You don't go, well, and tell us the whole story. You cut right to the chase. You call me on my stuff, which I love you for. But doing that, okay, gives me the feeling that, okay, I know I'm committed to this journey. And even though there's going to be hiccups, and you say about dating multiple men, and we all said, what are you talking about? You said, let me show you all. And you would give us example after example, because I was one of those one and done, like a lot of the girls on the Zooms and everything. And we've learned how to really look at it, not overanalyze it, but listen.
So come back to Joey and what happened there.
He was a scammer.
Yeah.
Is really what it came down to. So being a salesperson, how do you sell a salesperson? A salesperson sells a salesperson. But you listened to it. You took the time, that Concierge Mastermind service, and we spoke about it.
Yeah.
And he said to me, here's what I'm feeling. How do you feel about what I'm saying? You wanted my input. And I said, Lisa, you know something? I really see it differently now by the way you're taking the time to say it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Went through the process, and you showed me what to do and how to proceed with it. That's the key. Because sometimes, us as women go, okay, next, whatever. But I needed to learn a lesson there. Okay. And you showing me the way. You said, listen, this is a learning curve. You got through it. Now you know what you want to look for and how.
So good, Lynnie. You were magnificent. I mean, that could have thrown you so far off track.
Hands down.
Lynnie, that could have, because he was European. I even just recently came across the photo that you had sent me a screenshot of him. And I think yesterday I was going through my download file, my downloads, and I saw the photo, and he was cute and he was saying and doing all the right things. I mean, it was crazy.
Right.
But that
we all want to hear those things. We all do, Then we have to look at it and take it deeper. Is this person's actions of what they're saying, are they coming through with their actions?
But your level of maturity in how you handled when you learned that he was a scammer and how you dealt with that was extraordinary. And I don't, did the support of the group help, Lynnie? Talk about that.
Well, you know what, when you're first in END and you're like wet behind the ears, if that would have happened back then, I wouldn't have had all the tools. As I said, going through elementary school and middle school, and then getting to really the core of high school mastermind, that we're still going to have those things to happen, those situations, but it's the way that you get us back on track. And the way I didn't lose any momentum. I had you right there every step of the way.
Yeah, you were amazing.
And thank you. I was amazing, and I appreciate that, with all the coaching and encouragement from yourself.
Great, Lynnie, that is so beautiful. I mean, it's so great to hear this, because we watched you go through that and you really handled it. And I know how hard it is to handle something like that. You went, you went pretty, not like you and Joey, there it wasn't that, but you went pretty far down that road and you pulled yourself back quickly.
But Lisa, I couldn't have done it without you and Benjamin. I couldn't. Because, and I want women to really hear this that are listening, because that would have taken some women and said, that's it, I'm done, I'm going offline, there's nobody out there, yada, 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 yada. But that's not the way that you've showed me the process. There was no way I was even going to think like that. I'm like, hey, it happened. I was grateful that it happened. I got to share with everybody and really say, okay, this happened. This happened.
I had a scammer.
He was the top scammer out there. He was the best.
He was good.
All those, but the presence of how you and Benjamin are. Lisa, there's not enough words to describe how present the two of you are.
Wow.
And caring of yourselves. And not every conversation is, okay, I did everything right. No, you tell us where you started from 96, 97, under 100 days. So you showed us where you got from that to having the quality of a man like Benjamin.
But Lynnie, the other thing you don't know, like you guys don't see our behind the scenes, right? That we actually talk about what's going on with all of you. Like, the thing you don't know is that we're not just doing this on the calls. We are asking each other together when you're not there, what does Lynnie need? What can we do for Lynnie? Where is her ability to grow? We are observing each one of you and watching exactly, we're preparing the mastermind retreat. And we have looked at where each one of you needs to grow. We know exactly where those stretches are, and we're preparing that mastermind with all of that in mind, Lynnie.
Correct. So the right, and I've shared with people who I think would be benefit from it, because you're not doing off the cuff. I mean, I know when
We aren't.
no, I know, but it's a lot of thought process. So what I mean by that is when I send you an email and ask a question, whether it be I wanted to tweak some things in my profile because of location, maybe moving a little bit, spending time in another state. Immediately, you two responded, got this. Benjamin said, let me make some changes. He went through my entire profile, which I think is already perfect. And he made some changes, but you two are both on there. So here's what that showed to me. You two are in communication.
Oh my God, yeah.
And that's it. This is a team effort. It's not Benjamin's responding, you're responding. You two are together saying, okay, here's what we think. Benjamin made these changes. We think, if you want to talk about anything else, the presence of the two of you as coaches, being there. That's the key. It's not like, okay, well, gee, we're having a mastermind. Let's throw this together. You have a thought process of what's going on.
Well, we also are observing, as the beauty of this, Lynnie, is that the longer you guys are in it, the more time we have to observe all of you. And so through observation, we're also able to sit back and see what you need. We can monitor you and then see how to guide you through this process, which is really amazing. Look, I know what Benjamin and I have is extraordinary.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
And we just want to pass this along. We have a gift. We have been given a gift, Lynnie. And what we want to do is pass that on to you and all the other women in the mastermind group. That's our goal.
And that's what makes it even more incredible. Okay. Not everybody wants to share, what made the successes and what it took to get there. A lot of people want to be rapid fire, go watch this, go do that. You two put your blood, sweat, and tears into this. You look at each one of us, and I said to you, have me for life, because this is a lifelong process. It's not something where you take an ENT and go, okay, I got this, I'm done, because if you don't go onto the SSW and the mastermind, then you really haven't, for the women out there, then you're not really completing and doing this for yourselves. The wealth of knowledge that you have comes from your experience, people that you've worked with, if I can say Don Miguel and different people, and you reflect back on that. So it's not just going by thoughts. You have the thoughts plus the background to really show us what's working. And that is light years ahead of most coaches out there. They don't have that experience,
Well, and Lynnie, here's the deal. I look to my relationship with Benjamin, and he looks to his, we look to our relationship to guide you from.
Yes.
That's really our guide. We are we love each other so much, and it's constant. It's never wavering, so we want to teach all of you how to have this. Like, what is it that Benjamin and I are doing? We did learn from people along the way, but we took everything we learned from all of them. We put it into our own thing, and now we're giving it to you, to all of you.
And it's the best gift anybody I know for myself can give to me. And, I just want to jump to the retreat for a second. You had the photographers there, videos, and I watched that a lot, several times. And you know what I find is the coolest? Like there's certain shots that the photographer got of you and Benjamin. They weren't staged. They were just like raw of like you two standing there. Oh my God. It's like I say, that's what I know what I want. Because just the way you two look at each other. Now, how many years are you and Benjamin together? 20?
Almost 20, 19 and a half. Okay.
But to have that look that the two of you have, that's authentic, that's real. There's no better teaching ever than that.
Thank you, honey. Yeah, one of our former clients just said, Lisa, without your course, I would not have met Dan. Thanks again. Oh, Jill, thank you so much, honey, for sharing that.
So sweet to share.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you're happy and that you found someone through the course, and our work together that you really are happy with. That makes me so happy, honey. Lynnie, I could sit here and talk to you all day.
Yeah.
I know. I wish we could hang out more. We do. We get to on the mastermind calls.
We do. Thank you.
And your family, all of you become like family to us.
Mhm.
It is such a really close and almost, it's a sacred relationship that we all share in that group. And I think what's fun is that we're all growing together, all of us. And my God, that retreat is going to be something else.
Well, charts. I don't know how you two are going to top the last one. You know what it was? I mean, the retreat was amazing.
Mhm.
Your whole entire oasis in Santa Fe is amazing. But it's what was going on, the magic of
Mhm.
everybody. That's really the memories that I have. How we just all felt we would run up to each other. We were so happy to here's
Yeah.
the face we all see on Zoom and actually to touch this person, go, they're real and they're here. It's just, I mean, it was like no other experience. And we've all experienced life, but this was truly
Yeah.
a memory that is just gonna stay with all of us forever.
And you want to know something amazing, Lynnie? We had no idea what was going to happen there. I mean, of course, we had things that we pulled together,
Yeah.
and we had events and a structure, but we never ever could have anticipated that. And I hope I couldn't speak for every single woman there, but I felt like every woman had an extraordinary experience, every one of you.
Extraordinary. And then also, I mean, you brought in people to do different things, activities, whether it was music or
Yeah.
talking about different, lessons and stuff. And it was just like magical is the only way extraordinary magical.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be equally, I mean, more so, honey.
I can't
It
wait.
really will be.
Yeah.
It will be even more so, partly for the, level of closeness and bonding that you all already have and the intimacy of that group. But I think it's going to be at a much higher level. What we're doing there with all of you. Go
And
ahead.
the mastermind in itself, Lisa, is at a higher level. It's
Yeah.
taking up the scale of to those women that really want to commit to themselves. The only way we can commit to any man that we meet is by committing to ourselves and valuing ourselves.
Yeah.
Look, we'll take the time. We get on phone calls. You and Benjamin do work about, what we're on and what we're doing. So we are also showing up and doing the work. And if somebody doesn't see somebody on the screen, we're immediately texting, are you okay, Leandra? Are you running late from work? Are you going to be on? There's this sense of family. It's a sisterhood for us.
Yeah.
And that's something that you don't get everywhere. So I say to people, go listen to your 45-minute video. Boy, oh boy, if they don't get on a call for you, it's, if they want to get where they want to be, that's a given.
Oh, Lynnie. Well, thank you, my dear sweet Lynnie, for being here. This has been extraordinary, and I love you even more. In fact, you were the one who pushed to do this talk for me because, and I want to thank you for that. That was amazing right? That you were so devoted to getting on and that you wanted to share your story for other women because you believe that much in this program and the work that I'm doing.
And I truly do. And I said to you that I wanted to share it. I want, if it helps one
Thank
more woman out there
Yeah.
who's struggling and ready to give up, okay, which a lot of times does happen. You know, we've all had that. That to know that there are the resources out there, that you and Benjamin are the team that can get people out of that.
Oh, honey.
Yeah. So
Thank you so much. Thank you. I am Lisa Shield, and this has been my dear client and friend, Lynnie Marks. Lynnie, thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you enjoyed this, please go to lisashield.com, watch my free presentation. If you like what you hear, stay to the end. You can book a call with me or a member of my team to see how we can help you find the guardian of your soul, and go to YouTube and like and rate my YouTube channel. And also you can find my podcast, Dating Without Drama, and you can like and rate that as well and tell your friends about it. Thank you so much. I'm Lisa Shield. This has been Lunch with Lisa. And Lynnie, thank you again from the bottom of my heart.
thank you. Appreciate you.